Why some people secretly hate your success. What if the people who clap the loudest for you are sometimes the ones who secretly hope you fail? Sounds harsh, doesn't it? Because we are taught that success is supposed to inspire people. That when you finally achieve something you've worked for, your friends, relatives, colleagues, and even old classmates should naturally be happy for you. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes, the moment you begin to grow, the energy changes. The messages become shorter. The jokes become sharper. The support becomes strangely silent. And you sit there wondering, did I do something wrong? Why does my success make some people uncomfortable? Just imagine this. You finally get the promotion. You launch the business. You lose the weight. You buy the thing you've dreamed about for years. And instead of celebration, you feel tension. You know what I mean. It's one of the most confusing emotional experiences a person can have. Because nobody prepares us for this truth. Success doesn't only reveal who you are, it reveals who everyone else thinks they are. Imagine telling someone you trust about an achievement. You expect excitement. Instead, they say, "Oh, nice." That's it. No questions. No enthusiasm. No curiosity. Or maybe they laugh and say, "Don't let it get to your head." Or, "You just got lucky." Man, that's crazy. Because these tiny moments hurt more than open criticism. At least enemies are honest. But hidden resentment? It arrives disguised as sarcasm, as indifference, as subtle comparisons, as backhanded compliments. And here's the painful part. You start shrinking yourself. You stop sharing good news. You downplay your achievements. You make yourself smaller just to make other people comfortable. Come on, dude. How many times have you said, "It wasn't a big deal"? Even when it meant everything to you. I've often wondered why humans react this way. Why another person's success can sometimes feel like a personal attack. The answer isn't that people are evil. It's that human psychology was built for survival, not fairness. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in small tribes. Resources were limited. Status mattered. Being accepted by the group often meant survival. If someone suddenly gained more influence, resources, or attention, it threatened the social balance. Your brain learned to ask, what does their rise mean for me? That ancient wiring never fully disappeared. It simply adapted. Today, nobody loses food because their friend got promoted. But emotionally, our brains can react as if they do. Psychologists call part of this experience social comparison theory. We naturally evaluate ourselves by comparing our lives to others. Not because we are bad people, because the brain constantly searches for context. Am I doing okay? Am I falling behind? Where do I stand? Success becomes less about achievement and more about ranking. Then there's something called cognitive dissonance. That uncomfortable tension we feel when reality challenges our beliefs. Let's say someone believes hard work doesn't pay off. Then they watch someone close to them succeed through discipline and persistence. Now they face two choices: change their worldview, or reject the person succeeding. And changing beliefs, that's hard. So sometimes resentment becomes psychologically easier. Like, seriously, it's not always about you. It's often about the story they tell themselves. Then there's neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to strengthen pathways through repetition. Every repeated thought becomes easier to think again. If someone repeatedly interprets others' success as proof of their own failure, those pathways grow stronger. Envy becomes automatic, not intentional. Automatic. Here's where things get interesting. Envy wasn't entirely useless. Its original purpose had benefits. It could motivate people, push them to improve, help them notice opportunities. In small doses, seeing someone succeed can inspire growth. It says, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's the healthy version, the evolved version. But the dark side appears when comparison replaces curiosity. Instead of asking, what can I learn from them? The mind asks, why them and not me? One question creates growth. The other creates bitterness. Same emotion, different direction. And maybe that's the twist nobody talks about. People who secretly resent your success aren't always trying to hurt you. Sometimes they're grieving the dreams they abandoned, the risks they never took, the versions of themselves they stopped believing in. Your success becomes a mirror, and mirrors can be painful. For a long time, many people interpret this experience as evidence that success isolates you, that the higher you climb, the lonelier you become. But what if that's incomplete? What if success isn't removing people from your life? It's revealing alignment. It's showing who celebrates possibility and who only feels safe around familiarity. You're not discovering that people hate you. You're discovering how different people relate to growth. Some are inspired by it. Some are frightened by it. Some simply aren't ready for it. And that's okay, because evolution didn't design us to understand rapid change easily. But awareness gives us choice. We are not prisoners of ancient wiring. We can outgrow it. And so can they. So what do you actually do? First, stop apologizing for your achievements. Confidence isn't arrogance. You're allowed to acknowledge your hard work without shrinking, to fit someone else's comfort zone. Second, choose your audience wisely. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your dreams. Share your victories with people who celebrate effort, not just outcomes. Community shapes psychology. Third, practice compassionate boundaries. You don't have to hate people who struggle with your success, but you also don't have to carry responsibility for emotions that aren't yours. Empathy without self-abandonment. That's the balance. And finally, when envy appears inside you, because it will, get curious. Instead of asking, why do they have it? Ask, what is this emotion trying to teach me about what I deeply want? That question transforms envy into information, and information into action. Here's the strange paradox of being human. The people most disturbed by your growth may also be the people who secretly wish they had your courage. Not your results, your courage. Because success isn't just about achieving something. It's about tolerating uncertainty, embarrassment, judgment, failure, and continuing anyway. So tonight, think about this. Who have you become smaller for? And who have you become larger around? Maybe the answer explains more about your life than any achievement ever could. If this conversation resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Not to prove who's right, but to remind each other that being human is complicated. We are all learning how to celebrate our own growth, without fearing someone else's. And maybe that's the real success story. Not reaching the top, but learning how to rise, without losing our humanity along the way.